Hey friends, I'm back. Today I am back with another video. This video is just basically to inform you if you are currently going through chemotherapy for any type of cancer and or know someone that is, this would be some great information or a great tip to share with them. So today I want to talk about your port. And as you know, if you have to have chemotherapy, there's a couple different options for infusion. One, you could have uh, the chemo drugs go straight through your veins. Number two option is a PICC line. And the third option is a port and or Powerport. So the first time I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer in 2014, I chose to use my veins. The only arm that was available for use was the right arm because I'd had my main sentinel node removed on the left side, which exposes you to lymphedema, so you never want to give blood on that particular arm. I can't do blood anymore. I don't allow blood pressure cuffs to be placed on this arm, and I would definitely never do a tattoo on this side either. Very high risk of lymphedema, so I pretty much try to protect my left arm. So anyway, I allowed, basically they would put a needle in my vein every time I went in for infusion, and of course over time that destroyed the veins in my right arm. So when I was re-diagnosed in 2015 with triple negative breast cancer, I first had a PICC line put in, which is an external tubing that is threaded into the back of the arm, and then it's threaded into your veins and then over into your heart so they could administer chemotherapy. I had that in for the very first chemo session, and then when I went back to get my second chemo infusion, I had surgery to have a to have a port placed. So ports are usually always placed in the chest area right here. There's 3 bumps so that they know where to stick the needle, which is right in the middle. And my port is actually a Powerport. Excuse me, I got something in my mouth. So the difference between a port, which would also go in the same area, and then there's this long threading that goes right into your main vein here in your neck. And basically it's quick and easy for them to infuse the chemo drugs there. The difference between a port and a power port is with a power port, they can force in more drugs via a syringe, and also if you need CAT scans or CT scans, MRIs that require dye or anything like that, they can use your port for that. So a power port they can use for just about, drawing blood, infusions, dyes, so not just for chemotherapy, it can also be used if you need scans and things like that. So I had a power port placed. Now the reason why I put this video together is because I just want to educate you. If you have a port in, whether you are treating or not, you need to make sure you're getting your port flushed every 4 to 6 weeks. And I know once people stop treating, because during treatment, obviously you're getting it flushed every time you go to treat. But when you stop treating, people forget that you still need to maintain and take care of this port until you have it removed. Ports can usually last up to 10 years. And they recommend that you keep it in place for a number of years, just in case there's a reoccurrence or something like that. But anyway, if you decide to do that, you want to make sure that you are getting it flushed. And your institution where you're going to have chemo will gladly make an appointment for you to do that. Some hospitals and clinics allow you just to walk in. My local infusion center, even though I did not do chemotherapy here locally initially, the second time around, when I was diagnosed the second time, I went to Arizona. I just called them up and said, I have a power port, I need it flushed. They said, come on in, no problem. They, in fact, just make the appointments for me. One caveat to that is, if you're going in to get labs, they usually flush it. So remember that. You don't have to keep going back to back. So I went in February 1st to have my port flushed, and then about a week and a half ago I ended up in the hospital because I was having some radiation pain, and I'll talk about that in another video. And they flushed it, so I don't have to go back. I didn't have to go back March 1st or middle of March because I just had it flushed, so the clock starts over. So always be mindful of that, which is really, really great. So again, usually your clinics, hospitals, oncology facilities, any place that has a lab or does infusion, they can go ahead and flush it. It takes mere minutes, sometimes less than 5 minutes. They usually shoot it with some saline. Sometimes they'll use heparin in it, which is like a blood thinner. And because basically if you don't maintain it, it will develop a blood clot, a blockage, and basically it's useless, and you're walking around with a port that cannot be used. And you don't really want that. The goal ultimately, obviously, with individuals with breast cancer is to make it to the 5-year mark, where most people are considered a survivor at 5 years, and then at that point have it removed. So we're always looking to get to that 5-year mark with any type of cancer, right? You're considered a survivor if you can make it 5 years, especially with breast cancer. So anyhow, I just want to educate you and just remind you, please get your port flushed. That's very, very important. And if you know somebody who's going through cancer or is going to go through cancer or just finished, please remind them, get your port flushed. Very important as part of your health and welfare, and you know I'm an advocate for that. So I hope everybody's doing great. Just want to share this with you, keeping you educated and in the loop. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week. It is Tuesday, March 8th, 2016. I'm here, guys. Doing great. Don't you like this camouflage? Isn't that kind of cute? I think it was on a Build-A-Bear that one of my kids had, and I just threw it on. Having fun in life, guys. That's what it's about. See you soon. Take care.